Welcome to Movie Oubliette, the film review podcast for movies that most people have mercifully forgotten.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Conrad, and in each episode, we drag a forsaken film out of the oubliette.
Discuss it and judge it to decide whether it should be set free
or whether it should be thrown back and consigned to oblivion forever. We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie oubliette.
Halloween special. Hello listeners to episode 185 of Movie Oubliette, the globe-spanning podcast with me, Dan, obsessed with recreating TV theme music here in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, and me, Conrad, getting ready to watch Tron Ares in Cambridge, UK.
Ooh. In this podcast, we discuss horror, sci-fi, and fantasy movies you'd long forgotten about because everyone needs a traumatic horror film from their childhood. Right, Conrad?
It's a rite of passage, Dan. Yeah. Happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Spooky season.
Yes, yeah. What was your traumatic childhood movie?
I think it was probably Watcher in the Woods, actually, thinking about it, which we have enjoyed together, and it worked for you, so that was good.
Yes, it did, yeah. I mean, yeah, ghosts, anything supernatural, it's always the most terrifying thing for me. Yeah, my childhood movie, I think I've mentioned it many times, was Ghostbusters 2.
Yes, the ooze.
Yes, but it's also got a scary painting, which is kind of apt with our guests for today. But
absolutely.
But yeah, apart from that, yes, Halloween season. Are you doing anything spooky?
Well, I'm looking forward to my local theatre is doing a secret classic screening. Intrigued to see what it is. It's on Halloween. I mean, it's got to be Halloween, right?
Yeah. I'm not doing anything.
No?
I don't know. I feel like every year I want to do something and I don't. And in Australia, it is getting bigger and bigger in Australia for some reason, I guess because of social media and American culture just being so infused. But we don't call it a holiday here. It's just a day. It's not specifically a holiday. I mean, I don't think Americans have time off, but they still call it a holiday.
Yeah, they do. Do you have shops filled with decorations? And
yeah, we do. Yeah,
candy and okay.
Like in America, every single person dresses up, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Like it's almost compulsory, and if you're working, you're dressing up at work. Which sounds insane to me.
Livens things up, I'm sure.
I'm sure it does. I just don't think any employer in Australia would allow that.
No, it'd probably be a HR violation here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
So you're recreating TV themes at the moment?
Oh, yeah. So this is just like a thing that I'm doing on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm recreating theme music. So far, I've done Gravity Falls, The Office, How I Met Your Mother, and Severance.
Oh, great! Oh, I'll check those out. That sounds fabulous.
Severance was very fun. Anyway, we should move on to mailbag. What have our listeners been saying to us?
So we heard from Project 2501 on Blue Sky, and they said, found Movie Oubliette by way of Rob Hill, been a fun daily listen. Given I'm halfway through 2019, I'm unsure if Rabid 1977 might be creeping in the corners of the oubliette.
Ah, the Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice, actually, Project 2501, which I guess you'll be hearing this in a few years, maybe. But once you've caught up, maybe we'll do Rabid for you. You never know.
Yeah, that's quite a few episodes ago. Yes.
It is, yeah. Mind you, if they're doing daily, they may actually catch up sooner than I think.
Yeah, I'm always so surprised when people go through our entire back catalogue.
Yeah.
This is episode 185, people. That's a lot.
It's a commitment, isn't it? But I know what it's like when I discover a podcast that really sticks with me. I do binge.
I
It's
do.
Terrible.
Me too. And I love hearing the production value increase as well.
Yeah.
It's great. The evolution.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, My Dad Wrote a Porno, they've started releasing remastered episodes of their first season. So I don't know if that's something we could consider.
No, I can't be bothered doing that. Too many episodes. I like the fact that it's a documentation of our evolution. I like that.
Yeah. We also heard from Return of the Goth 2220.
Ooh.
And they said, the draw of the entire Tron franchise for me has always been the charming characters. The plots never hold up to scrutiny. The world building is based solely on the logic of, we showed it, so it's a thing, just go with it. But the visuals are always fun. I argue that the CG of Legacy and Uprising are perfect for these stories, and the characters make me like them, despite the shallow writing. I often wish they would just reboot the whole thing so we can see Kevin's spiritual journey from self-centered game maker to altruistic spiritual guru. For people looking for more from this, please find and watch the one-season wonder Tron Uprising, because it is engaging and character actor gold.
I don't think I mentioned it in the episode or our minisode on Legacy, but I love Uprising. In terms of all the Tron
Interesting.
releases that have come out, Uprising is actually really good. It's an animated TV show in the Tron universe, and it's really good. The sound design is amazing. Actually, it's one thing that really stands out, and the effects are pretty good. I mean, it's CG animated, but it's still 2D. It's not like 3D CG, but yeah. It is very good. I agree. It's better than the original and the sequel, and I'm not sure about the new sequel.
No, I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes and it's not looking promising, but we'll see. And finally, we heard from Serge of Cold Crash Pictures. Hello, Serge.
Oh, hello, Serge.
Happy Halloween. And he said, Tron is really hard on first watch. Hard to tell what the stakes are or the goal from scene. But on second watch, most of it is pretty clear. Despite a wildly anticlimactic ending, I think it's a fun little adventure film on top of a game-changing effects reel.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't think it's great on rewatches. I think the making of and backstory and all of that is far more interesting than the film. I don't know. Yeah. That just might just be me.
No, I think you represent quite a few listeners on that one. It's a mixed bag. It's an odd film. But yes, thank you everyone for getting in touch.
Yeah.
Especially people who are binging and catching up.
Yes.
If you get here at some point, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
Yes. Okay.
So Dan, what will we be doing this spooky season?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll just go to my bedroom. The Oubliette. Oh, no. It's the kitchen.
Oh, nice.
What's that smell? Oh, it smells like sweaty socks.
Disgusting. It's bubbling loudly.
Oh, yes. Oh, I think the movie's in this pot. Hang on. Oh, it's covered in this goo. Come back.
Oh, what a lovely little bust you have.
All right, I'm back.
Wow. And what do you have with you once you've scraped off all the goo?
Yes, well, I have with us today the Disney kids horror film from 1999, Don't Look Under the Bed. It's directed by Kenneth Johnson. It's written by Ma Edward Edens, with the cast of Erin Chambers, Ty Hodges, Robin Riker, Stephen Tobolowsky, Nathan Stevens, and Jake Saxon.
Ooh, and what happens in this movie?
Yes, well, set in the small town of Middleburg, Frances Bacon McCausland, a 14-year-old girl, is the victim of blame for all the mishaps befalling the town. Blackouts, clocks being turned back 3 hours, graffitied letter B's everywhere, egged cars, and dogs on roofs. But maybe, just maybe, something supernatural is afoot in the form of the Boogeyman, the monster that lives under your bed. Frances, however, is not alone in trying to solve the mystery with the sometimes not so helpful aid of imaginary friend Larry Houdini. But things escalate as Frances's younger brother Darwin is kidnapped and taken to the boogie world from under Frances's bed. Will the bizarre boogie book, a temptrifuge, and boogie goo help them overpower the boogeyman? Or is there an intrinsic link to the boogeyman and the imaginary friend that Larry isn't telling Frances? We'll find out after the break.
Yes, and we'll be joined by a special guest.
Yes, yes, yes.
Our special guest today is writer, actor, producer, and fan of any film with a portrait as a MacGuffin, Amanda Jane Stern. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
It's so great to have you back. Happy Halloween. How are you?
Yes, happy Halloween. I'm good. It's my favorite holiday, so...
That's exciting to hear. So what happens in Castle Stern for Halloween? What's your favorite tradition?
Okay, so we have Halloween playlists that we play 24/7. Yeah. Also, it's just, we watch a lot of horror movies. So it's not about candy. I don't care about candy that much, but I like dressing up in costumes. We have a dog that we got last year. So this year is the X-Files, Mulder Scully. He's an alien.
Amazing.
Yep.
Bless.
So it's just, it's the costumes and the creepy music, and I like pumpkin carving and then having little jack-o'-lanterns and making them as creepy as you can. I discovered I'm not as bad as I thought I was, and I could actually, with a stencil, carve something.
I've never used a stencil. That's
Use
so pro.
a stencil. So what you do is you print out like your image and then you tape it to your pumpkin and then use like an X-Acto knife just to poke along the lines, and then you take the stencil off and cut.
Right.
I should try that. I'm always just doing the most wonky,
Yeah.
unsymmetrical, hideous-looking things, and so basic. But at least I don't cut myself, which is great.
That is a different kind of Halloween.
Yeah. Well, a different kind of Halloween is certainly what we're in for this year, because you've chosen something for us which is a TV movie, and one that Dan and I had never even heard of. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, never heard of this movie.
That tracks.
So I grew up in New Zealand. We didn't have the Disney Channel or any of the kids' channels in New Zealand until I think Cartoon Network was first aired in 1997. Disney Channel didn't even appear until 2003.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up with any of this sort of Disney Channel TV movie stuff from the 90s.
Well, so this movie also only played on Disney Channel for a few years. It came out in 99, and then they pulled it in 2006. So I think unless you were in the States and you were born basically between 1988 maybe and 96, you would have either been too old or too young to have seen it, unless, you know, you were older and you had a younger sibling who watched it, or you were really little and you had a slightly older sibling who watched it, because it got so many complaints from parents that it was legitimately terrifying their children.
Wow.
That Disney Channel stopped airing it. So it was basically lost until Disney Plus started streaming it. So unless you are of that specific small age range to have caught it when it was, you know, in its first few years of airing, and then it's something that, you know, has stuck with you all of these years,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it at all.
Yeah.
So what was your history with it? When did you first watch it?
So I did not watch it the year that it came out because we did not have Disney Channel. We didn't have cable then yet. But I think in around 01 or 02, my parents got cable. And that's when I started seeing commercials for it around Halloween. And I could not get through it as a kid. It was frightening. It was scary. I couldn't watch this as a kid. I was also a scaredy cat as a kid. Now, not at all. I know when my husband was a kid, he tried to watch it as well and got to, I think, the point where Larry's eyes turn. I was just like, nope, I'm out. I can't do this. So this really frightened children.
Wow. I can easily imagine why. So yeah, this whole DCOM, I believe it's called, if you're down with the kids, Disney Channel original movie. This is a whole rabbit hole I went down today looking into this. Over 100 of them. And apparently they were quite the sociological phenomenon for a specific generation.
This one has much higher production value than they usually do. Yeah, this is the most real, not made for TV feeling movie that I think they've really put out. Because a lot of them feel very, this was done on a shoestring budget. They shot this over maybe a week kind of thing. Whereas this really feels like it was all storyboarded and plotted out and planned. Yeah. And they had some time to do this.
And I think it doesn't surprise me with the director, Kenneth Johnson, who is someone who's been around and very famous since the 80s and the late 70s, in fact, working on things like The Incredible Hulk and V. Yeah, so he's quite an established director who knew how to make the most out of a limited budget visually, I think, making this big sci-fi epic invasion on a TV budget, which still made a great impression and had some scary moments in it that kids of my era always remember. Yeah. Diana eating a gerbil whole or whatever it was.
Yeah, he actually had a horror background. It wasn't just like, this is a kids movie, let's make a kids movie. And I know I was reading that the original design for the boogie person was significantly more frightening and had, I think it was quills coming out of its legs or something. And he was the one who said, hey, we have to tone this down.
Yeah, we have to back off. I think it was even maybe non-speaking, just like a black shape that looked like a raven.
Yeah.
And you think, well, kids won't recover from this.
No, and that was probably a good call because this already absolutely freaked the shit out of them.
So mostly, what sort of things did DCOMs deal with? Because I had a quick peruse of the titles. I know none of them apart from High School Musical, which obviously was rocketed into international stardom, and the sequel was released theatrically.
The third one was theatrical. The sequel was still a DCOM.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, okay. So I think they actually still make DCOMs.
Really? Okay.
I think they do. Obviously, it's been a very long time since I watched one, and I have a brother who's 5 years younger than I am, so I saw probably a few more than I necessarily would have just because of that. But they were anything. It was just, sometimes it was like the issue piece movie. I think there are a few about racism. There's the one about a autistic kid. And then others were just popcorn movies made for kids and preteens, basically, which isn't really a thing anymore. I know that, they do still make them because during the pandemic, my husband and I, because we had my dad's Disney Plus account, watched a couple just to see what they were making now, to see what entertainment, because obviously, we're early 90s kids, and so we grew up with the stuff that was made in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, where it was edgier, the shit they made for children. It was much darker. Case in point, this movie, which is really dark. When you this is weapons for children, and then when you watch it as an adult, it's really sad when you actually pay attention to what this plot is and why the things happen. So it was basically just anything. So they'd have movies about a pop star coming to your town, or I think there was one by the time I was already a teenager, like a girl falls in love with a pop star, and then they'd have their Halloween movies every year. This is the one that, is nightmare fuel. But then there was, the one about the Phantom of the Megaplex. And so it was like the thing that you looked forward to. And they're not to be confused with the wonderful world of Disney made-for-TV movies on ABC, where you got movies like My Date with the President's Daughter and Susie Q, which were for a slightly older audience than the Disney Channel original movies. So if the DCOMs were for like upper elementary through, like first year or two of middle school. The Wonderful World of Disney ABC TV movies were more like middle to high school.
Yeah, I read that this solidified the idea of the tween as a target demographic for Disney.
Because that's who these movies were for versus those over on ABC, where it was just a little bit edgier, a little bit darker content. Not that this was so light in its content.
But you're right about the 90s being edgier and darker. Like, I'm thinking of all the cartoons I grew up with in the 90s. When you look at them now, you think, what were they thinking? Like,
Yeah.
So there's Courage the Cowardly Dog in 1999, which
Yes,
is
I do.
really terrifying to watch
Okay,
now.
so are we around the same like millennial kind of like
I think so.
mid-millennial thing? Mid to late millennial?
Yeah, I was born in 1983.
Okay.
So the 90s was definitely my decade that I remember more fondly than the 80s. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, a lot of really
I
wacky...
remember Courage.
Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog, or even Cow and Chicken was pretty insane.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was so dark.
Yeah, so dark. So dark.
So dark.
It's
It was
terrifying.
like Edward Gorey paintings for children.
Yeah, exactly.
It was come to life for children. It was like the scream the entire time.
Yeah.
And there was the show about what was it? The Grim Reaper with is it like
The
Bill
Grim
and
Adventures of
Mandy?
Billy and Mandy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, where they befriend the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
Who has like
Yeah.
a Jamaican accent for some reason, and they just go around being incredibly dark and moody.
Yep.
And even like the live action TV shows, like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Which they remade recently. There is
Yeah,
a
I heard
remake.
about that.
It's actually pretty good.
Is
It's
it?
kind of each season is its own little arc. And there were
Right.
3 seasons. I thought the second, I have watched them because I had to see. The second was, I think, the weakest one.
Okay.
They are all insanely queer coded. And then by the third
Right.
one, they were like, fuck it, we're not doing queer coding anymore. We're just going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one, as I recall, is pretty like, oh, hey, we're doing some frightening stuff for kids again. That's cool.
Yeah, because I grew up with Goosebumps for sure. The TV show
books.
and the books. Yeah. Even the covers of the books was just so iconic.
They're frightening.
Yeah, the 90s was terrifying for kids, but we loved it at the same time.
I don't know if this crossed over, but Through a Dark Wood and Other Scary Stories. And it was this compilation book of short horror stories that and it was in my first grade classroom. I think it was written in the 80s that I remember absolutely fucked me up. There was, have either of you heard? It was the girl with the green scarf.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's this story. And her name is Jenny, and she always wears a green scarf around her neck. And there's a boy that she's friends with, and every day he asks her, and she says, I'll tell you one day. They grow up, they get married.
I have heard
years
about this. Yes,
pass. One day they're very old. She's on her deathbed, and she says, okay, I'll tell you. Untie the scarf. He unties it, and her head falls off.
Oh, good grief.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
I have heard that story.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare. I read that in first grade and was like, no. And I had nightmares for months.
The story behind this one, I quite enjoyed the lore of this. So it's all focused around 2 things. 1, imaginary friends, and 2, the boogeyman. And you discover that they are inextricably linked halfway through.
Yep. And it's really fucking dark when you think about it.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a female-led story.
And very queer coded.
Interesting.
Do you not see it when we reveal who the boogie person really is?
Oh.
The way that they look at each other, her and Zoe, was immediately like, I see you. But then also when Larry's like, oh, wow, I didn't know the boogeyman was a girl. Immediately Zoe goes, boogie person. And then corrects him 3 times. They could have said boogie woman, boogie lady, but they specifically said boogie person.
Gosh, it's a woke gender ideology going on in 1999.
Yeah, in a kids movie. So snaps for that. I can't snap, but snaps for that.
Yeah, I was thinking of other imaginary friend movies, and Drop Dead Fred is the first one that comes to mind. It was a big movie for me growing up. I don't know, and it was also terrifying for me at the same time. I think if I'd watched this movie growing up, I would have been terrified too. And yeah, there aren't that many imaginary friend movies. It seems to be a trend now to have a lot. There's quite a few coming out or have come out in the last kind of 10 years. But yeah, at the time, there weren't that many. Before that, there was Drop Dead Fred, and there's a movie called Bogus with, I think, Whoopi Goldberg's in that one, and Harvey, which I haven't seen. I do want to see
About
that.
the bunny,
1950,
yes.
Yeah, the 1950
With
movie.
James Stewart.
It is, yeah. You could say a few others, but they'd be plot spoilers because some of the characters you're not supposed to know they're imaginary until you realize that the central character is having some mental health issues.
I know we got a Boogeyman movie recently, like from Blumhouse, I think, that Sophie Thatcher's in, that got very mid reviews.
Yeah, I'm not sure that has any imaginary friend aspects to it.
I don't think so. No, it is. It's
Yeah.
pretty. It's an interesting concept here. How they are the same thing, basically.
Yeah, actually, in honor of imaginary friend movies, I watched Daniel Isn't Real. Last night.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is it's not a bad movie. It's flawed, and there are scenes where it looks lower budget than it could have been, but it's a solid film. It's okay. Also, it's got my name in it, which is I've got to watch
Is that
it.
why? Is that why you watched it, for your name?
Yeah. I want to figure out if I'm real or not. That's why.
Are you? Have you decided? Are you real?
I think so. I hope so.
Well, I see you, and I think Conrad sees you, so
I think we're good.
it's a good sign.
So yeah, imaginary friends and the boogeyman. So the monster that lives under the bed. I think that's the most terrifying aspect of this movie. Just the fact that you've got fog billowing out of Francis's bed. That's a really terrifying image
Yeah.
to me. Like I would have found that just horrifying as a kid.
Yeah, there's also the scene where, it's an hour in, so spoilers, please watch the movie first if you can on Disney+. There's the scene where Francis, her youngest brother, I think, has she got an older brother or is he middle?
Yeah, but
He's older. He's a junior in high school. She's a freshman because she skipped a grade, and then Darwin is like 10.
Yeah, that's right. So Darwin is sort of labyrinth style kidnapped by the big bad. And yeah, it's a full on monster under the bed grabs your feet and drags you under into the underworld scene, which it just pushes buttons for anyone that age.
Right. I mean, we see that in adult horror movies, and you just kind of change the lighting and the music a little bit, but it's not a big enough difference for if you're watching this at, 8 years old, just because the lighting's a little brighter and the music is a little hoppier, it's going to be the same scare to you. You're still seeing a child get pulled under a bed by like Freddy Krueger hands.
yeah. Because I was thinking, like, what does make this movie scary? I mean, apart from being pulled on the bed and the makeup effects, despite being toned down. Still frightening.
It's still a scary creature design.
The teeth,
Yep.
just, oof, that's going to haunt you.
Yeah, no, you're right, because there are other horror movies that were made for children in the same time that are not scary, that are a little just more fun. But I think it's also that the story of this is so grounded in things that are real, and then what the monster is something that is so intrinsic to childhood. So it is taking what children have and turning it into their greatest nightmare, which is, brilliant horror movie making, but that is also, these are children.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much like urban legend for kids. So it's taken what they already are scared of, the monster under the bed, and making it real.
Yep.
But there's no gore in this movie. There's no blood or anything. Like, it is a kids movie, but it still has those horror elements.
It's also all of the angles. The way it's shot is so unsettling.
The Dutch
This is the
tilts.
thing. This is the thing. Disney Channel movies don't do that. There's so many Dutch angles, and there are moving Dutch angles to really make you unsettled. The three of us as adults who watch a lot of movies, we know what they're doing. We know what that means. But if you're a kid, you're not sitting there and you're like, ah, yes, the Dutch angle, very smart. You're sitting there like, why am I so uncomfortable? You can't logically think through why it makes you uncomfortable because you were a kid.
Yeah. It's exposing you to an aesthetic intensity that you've never had before in all likelihood. I mean, it's still a very bright and colourful movie.
Yes.
It is colorful.
It is, yeah. It's still very much a Disney movie. It's very bright. It's very colourful. It's very cheerful. The music, I was surprised. The music still has some intensity to it too. Daniel
Yes, it does.
Licht, who I know him most as working on, I think it was a Children of the Corn sequel.
Children of Corn 3
Yeah.
and 2.
See, I feel like what they did here, instead of writing a script for children, they just wrote a horror movie script and then kind of filmed it for children. Instead of doing like a really toned down script, this is not a toned down script. They just wrote a horror movie script that would be for like a PG-13 movie and then just lit it a little brighter and had the acting be a little broader than it would be in a more mature horror movie. And that's part of what's so frightening is that you could keep the script, and if you just make the acting more grounded, and I don't say make it darker in the sense that I don't want to see it, but if the colors weren't so saturated, you would have a PG-13 horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, also what makes it sort of more kid-friendly is I feel like Larry is the sort of friendly imaginary friend. He's the comic relief for the most part. He's goofy. He changes outfits in in split seconds, and he has props that he just brings out of nowhere. He is quite funny in this movie.
Yeah, he could be. That's part of the broader acting, that he's doing a big comedy performance. But again, you don't change the script, you change the performance. You don't even change the shooting style because the Dutch angles are terrifying. You make the pranks a little darker.
Yeah.
Like it's not jello, but the bees are dark. That could be deadly.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, Ty Hodges as Larry Houdini. He is very big. He is very fun. A huge amount of energy. The fact that he can pull new costumes and props out of nowhere is fun and unpredictable. The unpredictability about him that is terrifying, though, and I think I remember a psychologist saying the thing that really scares children is inconsistency in behavior. And Ty goes from being this fun, bright, loud, joyful bundle of energy to suddenly having scary purple eyes and shouting at her about the fact that she made her younger brother stop believing in him because he was Darwin's imaginary friend.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. That would be really frightening to a kid. Like, this is someone they've been set up to trust, and he just turned, which makes him no longer safe.
Yes, that's right. Because at the end, he starts helping the Boogeyman to kidnap Darwin. And I don't know what they're going to do with Darwin. What are they trying to do?
I think they're going to throw him off that cliff.
Okay, so kill him in the boogie world.
Yeah, that kid is in real danger.
That is dark. I also found, in terms of the horror aspects, there are references to horror movies in this movie. There's The Shining, when Larry turns up on the TV and he goes, here's Larry with an axe.
And there's the Freddy Krueger, it's the Nosferatu shadow hand.
Yes. Yeah. That when he's making the boogie goo, it goes into black and white, like Frankenstein monster type 50s, 40s horror movie. Is there a reference to Poltergeist as well?
I think there is, yeah.
Under the bed, they find the clown. That's the same clown, or looks very similar to the clown in Poltergeist. And also the fact that Darwin gets taken to another world similar to Poltergeist.
Which, very Nightmare on Elm Street stuff.
And Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah.
Specifically, the one with all the matte paintings. Is that 5?
Yeah, I think it could be 5 with the young kid.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, I just got the 4K set of all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I think 5 has been released uncut for the first time, so I'm looking forward to watching it.
Wow. It's not my favorite of them, but I do love the matte paintings. I don't love the script, but I love the aesthetics.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Yeah, there's a lot of references in here.
Yeah, but kids aren't going to get these. Are these references for parents?
Yes. Which, that's the thing. Most of those Disney Channel original movies, weren't really for parents, you know? It didn't have all of the asides for parents the way that you expect in a Pixar or a Disney movie you see in the theaters.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really like you popped your kid in front of the TV, whereas this one is like, no, see? We know horror.
Yeah.
Which also means if you're young and you have a teenage sibling and they catch you watching this and they're into horror, it's like, well, that's this movie, and now I need to freak you out with that movie.
Yes, yes.
Right. It's giving them a playlist.
Yeah.
There are a lot of deep sort of metaphors and themes in this movie that I was very surprised about. The family dynamic alone, the fact that her younger brother had leukemia and had to get a bone marrow transplant from Bert, the older brother. Like, it's really, like, deep.
Sad. It's so sad. And then also, even at the end, he gets into bed with her and he's like, I'm scared of getting sick again. And you're just sitting there like, what?
Yeah. It's very grounded in real stuff
Yeah.
that some kids are going through. It's not lighthearted.
No. It reminded me of the recent film A Monster Calls. I don't know if anybody caught that one.
I have seen that. Yes.
I haven't seen that, but that's why it reminded me of Weapons.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, Monster Calls again has a character who is dealing with cancer in the family. And finally, when you find out the thing that is really the source of all of their guilt is quite a twist and quite a cathartic moment. And you get that here because, again, spoilers, watch the movie before listening to us. But the reason why Frances is struggling so much is because although she's not a match to provide bone marrow for her younger brother, secretly she's relieved because she was scared. She didn't want to do it.
And that's a big, complex emotion for a kid's movie.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, she had to grow up really fast. And not just because she skipped a grade, but I think it's also she was the smart kid. So her parents put a lot of extra pressure on her. They didn't see her as the goof off. So they probably opened up about darker things than she was really ready for.
Yeah, it's very true.
I mean, it's the crux of the movie, right? Because she stopped believing, I mean, spoilers again, her imaginary friend that turns out to be Zoe too soon. And so Zoe turns into the boogeyman. That's the lore of the movie.
It's Boogie Person.
Yes, boogie person.
That is the quote.
And also, she tells Darwin, you need to grow up. You need to stop believing in the imaginary friend. So he stopped believing in Larry, who turns out to be his imaginary friend. And then Larry, through the course of the movie, turns into a boogeyman as well. So it's like a lot of layers going on and metaphors, which is, I was quite surprised by.
Yeah, which is a lot for a kid's movie. Versus, another Disney Channel original Halloween movie was Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. There's nothing frightening about that one.
Yeah.
It's just kind of broad and comedic.
Yeah.
And then you get this.
Yeah, it is interesting emotionally what it's trying to talk about. Is not only is it talking about growing up too fast, as you mentioned, Amanda, it's also talking about dealing with your feelings, dealing with your imaginations and your fears and what happens if you suppress them.
Yep.
Essentially, the boogeyman is trauma.
Yep.
And you're just storing it up for later in life.
And we did that in 1999.
In 1999. For tweens.
It's not even trauma. It's repression. It's repressing your emotions. It's the danger of that.
Yeah, in 1999 for tweens. It's amazing.
Yep. I mean, it's basically like emotionally and frightening wise, it's hitting like, honestly, it might be even a little darker than Hocus Pocus. And that was not made for kids as young. And that was theatrical.
It was, yeah. And recently had a Disney Plus sequel, didn't it? Which I haven't seen. I haven't seen either of them.
I haven't seen.
No, I haven't seen it.
Call me a heathen for this. I never loved Hocus Pocus.
Ah,
It just didn't. There was something about it that didn't track for me. I think there's a mean streak to it that I just didn't like. And I like witchy things.
Practical magic?
I love practical magic. I have the bangs now. I love practical magic.
There's a sequel to that coming too, apparently.
I know. I don't know how I feel about that. I am okay letting things be.
Yes. What did you all think about the ending?
Yes, I was baffled by the ending, especially after Amanda blindsided me with the queer coding of Francis's imaginary friend. being a boogie person. So Kenneth Johnson has given many interviews recently where he has said that the Disney executives, after they cast Ty Hodges in a role that was colorblind cast, he didn't say what.
It wasn't written to be, it's an imaginary friend. It was just written to be played by a male identifying actor.
Yeah, exactly. But it becomes a black actor. And then they get to the final scene where apparently Francis and Larry kiss. And all of a sudden, some Disney executives are getting a little bit itchy about that and whether they're going to lose some of the southern states, some of the affiliates.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
If they film that. So they're asking him to film it in various subtle ways, or maybe not even at all. And he stuck to his guns and wanted to put it in there. Now, I don't have any issues with interracial kisses for tweens on the Disney Channel.
No.
My question is, why do they kiss at all?
I have a theory about it, and you're right. I think narratively, I'm not for it because it pissed off racists. I'm for it because fuck them. I think because she just had this moment where she's learned that she saved her brother. Zoe's no longer a boogie person, but an imaginary they, them. And she's sad about that. And Larry is trying to point out to her, like, you are growing up. There are other things that are going to take more precedence now in your mind than imaginary friends. And I think that's why he kisses her, to like show her that. But at the same time, what I've seen, I think they've got great friend chemistry. And the real chemistry is the way she looks at Zoe. And then Zoe, who is so non-binary, and Zoe is just like an androgynous Victorian doll.
Yeah, I mean, my theory for that was Zoe is one of her dolls, because they're
it's the doll whose head keeps turning,
right? So that's kind of her sort of manifestation of the doll as an imaginary friend,
an imaginary non-binary friend.
Yeah,
because remember, yes, if this is what you have conjured up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I was confused by the kiss. I just didn't see any chemistry. And also, I thought the whole point of the movie was don't grow up too fast. Keep your imaginary friends. But then Larry kisses her and says, no, you've grown up. You don't need to.
And she has. She is 14. She's in high school. She is actually past the age of imaginary friends. But it's okay to remember them and to know that there are other things on the horizon now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the ending. It came from nowhere for me. I was a little bit baffled by it. There was another bit in it that I was a little bit baffled by that I wanted to ask you both about. Francis has spent much of the movie demanding that people acknowledge the presence of something that isn't there, and looking, for all intents and purposes, as if she's had a psychotic break in front of her family, in front of her friends at school. And there is a scene where her father, played by the inimitable Stephen Tobolsky, who I always remember from being Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day and getting punched in the face. He is playing Francis's dad.
He has some of the best quotes in this movie.
He does, yeah. And also, kudos to him as a father figure in a movie. He is cooking, he is cleaning, he says he loves the vacuuming. And her mother is always seen wandering around looking very serious, holding a book. So great gender representation, I think, there in terms of the possibilities.
It's also the non-binary movie, so
yeah,
they were cooking.
They were. But yeah, Dad sits her down at one point and tries to ask her what's going on, and what she says doesn't make an awful lot of sense. And so he says back to her, maybe you would be more comfortable speaking with your mother about this.
Like, is this a weird female trouble?
That's what I thought.
Is this puberty starting? Did you get your first period?
This is what I was wondering, because I always remember that famous Bill Murray line in Ghostbusters where he asks the librarian if she's menstruating right now.
I didn't even read it that way, but now that you bring it up, I can totally see that.
It seems to be the go-to for men, is to ask women after they say they've seen a ghost.
Is it that time of the month? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ghost. Duh. I think it was just for comedy, but I like your interpretation. Did you notice that one of the kids referred to the science teacher as Creepy Kramer, or whatever his last name was?
Oh, yeah. The guy with the convertible that gets egged. Mr.
Yes.
Kepler. Creepy Kepler.
Kepler.
Yeah.
Why was he creepy? That's not good.
I've been in high school, and when you called a teacher creepy, there was a specific reason you called him creepy. And I don't not get that vibe from the performance that this guy is giving, which is also so dark.
Yeah, he's teaching about reproduction as well.
Biology.
Yeah.
She also, when we first meet him, she goes, he teaches biology. He really likes me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
That's not good.
And I feel like there was someone in the writing here who was like, yeah, we're going to punish him.
I do feel like the movie is like a metaphor of going through like adolescence or puberty or teenage
Yeah,
years,
you're right.
because that's the troubled years. You know, it's when teenagers act out and start graffitiing bees everywhere and
B.
yeah, egging cars and causing blackouts. That's what tweens do, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's kind of just the whole metaphor of like going through the times and trying to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it's time for random trivia.
All right, Conrad, do you have any juicy trivia about this movie?
I do. So, Erin Chambers, no relation, star of the movie, as Frances. She originally auditioned to play Zoe, she says. Our non-binary boogie person. But because the character was older and she was 19 at the time and a college student in Utah, and in the original script, Frances was written to be 12. Which makes the kiss at the end even more disturbing, but never mind. But they liked her so much in the audition that they said that they thought that maybe she could play 14 at 19.
I mean, she does look young. She looks quite young.
She looks really young.
She does look quite
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. It's surprising to find out her actual age.
Yeah. I think she pulls off sort of 15.
Yeah,
16,
I can see 15,
but
16.
Yeah.
She looks younger than 19. She definitely does.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, she was not going to play Frances originally.
That's really interesting. Because
It is.
Zoe's
Yeah.
part is so small.
I know.
And so British.
Okay.
All right.
And that's our trivia.
What's the reason for the boogie person torturing Frances?
I think it's basically what happens when you stop believing in your imaginary friend too soon. They come back as a boogie person. So this happens to basically any child who stops believing too soon. And they torture you. And that's why Larry is like, if you pull the cover over your, like, you have to ignore it. You have to will it away, basically.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because it seems like relentless.
Yeah.
The amount of torture. And it's odd torture as well. Putting dogs on roofs, bees
Yeah.
in the principal's office, jello in the pool. Like it's it's chaotic.
I think it also kind of, because it is from your imaginary friend, it's kind of acting the way that you would, act out if you could. Frances is so buttoned up. So it's a lot of stuff where she'll make a joke about a thing, and then that's the prank that happens.
Right. Yeah, right.
So it's the things that trouble her subconscious is what the boogie person is doing. And I think this boogie person, it's so big because it has maybe the extra power of knowing that there's another imaginary friend in the same household turning into a boogeyman. And that the emotional trauma that Frances and her brother and her family have been through is greater than just, a kid stops believing because some older kid is like, they're fake and you're an idiot.
Right. So it is kind of a metaphor for like how teens act out.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're acting out, because they're dealing with emotional trauma or a boogie person.
A boogie person. Yeah.
That's interesting. It gets deeper and deeper, this movie.
For children.
For children, yeah. And what I love about it is the way that it unfolds, because I was genuinely surprised, even as an adult. I was genuinely shocked by the scene where Larry turned for the first time.
Yep.
And when he started to change more and more, and then they reveal the mechanism for imaginary friends turning into boogie people. And then you start to question, well, whose imaginary friend were they? And all of those twists, the identities of all these people, it's still genuinely enthralling even now.
And the hint is there because we see that doll all the time as a very creepy little thing that the doll's head is constantly turning and watching. But you're not thinking that, you know? It's very subtle the way that they pepper those clues in there, which is very smart, and that's what you do in a more mature script, you know? It's not hand-holding you the way a lot of children's entertainment does.
No.
There are other things that move, though. I
Yes.
did notice the letterbox. Loved it. The pig letterbox.
Oh, yeah.
That turns and opens.
If you're a kid, that's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy.
I mean, we still, for adults, have movies about haunted dolls. We have an entire franchise of Annabelle movies. And that doll does look a little bit like Annabelle.
Yeah. Also, in the animal movies, I don't think the doll ever moves.
No, Annabelle doesn't really do anything.
No, it's just a whole lot of creepy music and
Yes.
touch and tilt.
See? You give this the same lighting of an Annabelle movie, and this is 10 times more frightening because most of those are not frightening at all.
Yeah, it's genuinely disturbing. So there's just those weird moments, like where she goes to school and everybody is frozen still like a statue outside for no reason, and then they suddenly move.
I didn't understand that.
What is that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't totally either.
Yeah.
Maybe she is actually imagining that.
Yeah, she's having some sort of break.
And also, the boogie person is British.
Of course.
Yes.
So we've come across this before, Conrad, where the evil villain is British for no reason. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's a Victorian doll, so it's going to have a British accent. But before you figure that out, it seems odd. But yeah, evil equals British.
Zoe is also British, so it would make sense that when Zoe transforms into a boogie, they still have a British accent. It's just no longer a effeminate British accent, but a male-sounding British accent.
And they're not bad British accents, it has to be said.
No.
No, they're not. They're pretty. They wouldn't make me go look up if the actor was actually British or not.
Yep. And speaking in rhyming couplets as well.
Yes.
That's right.
Which I think is a unique part of the torture. Yeah, I think my favourite one of those had to be, I hate to be the one to tell you, but it's not too late for me to nail you.
Yes, and that was a moment where my husband and I looked over at each other and were like,
Hello.
okay.
And also, I'm not sure about getting Bert's socks from under his bed and then making food out of them. That
no.
doesn't seem like a good idea.
It seems pretty rancid.
Not a teenage boy's socks. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, that scene where the teacher is pulling out sock from her mouth is disgusting.
It's so gross.
Probably the most terrifying thing in the movie. So it vanished from repeats, apparently, because otherwise they would have repeated it every Halloween.
They would have, yeah. So they did it. It came out in 1999, and then it was 2006 when they pulled it.
Right.
And they did not play it again. And I don't think they play it now. I think it's just streaming on Disney Plus, and that's how people find it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And no physical media releases either.
I doubt it.
No, I don't think many of the decom
No,
movies
I would doubt that.
made it onto physical media. So it becomes one of these things that you see as a kid that scars you, and then you can't revisit it as an
Yep.
adult to see whether half of what you remember is real or not.
Yep. And then when you do actually, because of Disney Plus, when I did get to revisit it, I was like, oh, wait, this is actually, I see why this was terrifying. And now watching it through an adult lens, it's so sad. It's so dark. Yeah, nope, this is still okay. This doesn't read to me just like a children's movie that got under our skin. Like they were really doing something here.
Yeah, you're right, because the other thing that it sort of talks about is loneliness. I mean, the reason why the boogie person ends up being so vindictive, I think, is because they're so isolated and alone
Yep.
and unloved. It's not only an allegory about trauma, it's also about being socially isolated and what that can do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this fucked kids up. Thank you, Disney Channel.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming to you live from the movie Oubliette Theatre, it's the prestigious Mobley Awards.
It's the Mobley Awards where we nominate our favourite boogie person vandalising parts of the film in a number of boogie goo covered categories.
Best quote.
Obviously, I had written, actually, it's Boogie Person. I have others, but that one's so good.
That would be your tagline for the movie on the box art.
It would be. That was almost my Letterboxd review, but instead I went with weapons for children.
It's pretty good, actually, as a description. My favourite line was during the emotional climax of the movie where Frances is coming clean about her guilt and the source of it. And she says, I didn't know what to do, and I thought if I was a grown-up, I could do anything. Yeah?
Yeah, I do feel like as kids, we thought grown-ups were just invincible and they just got through life and they were the solid rock that we can always rely on. And then you become a grown-up and you're like, I feel like I'm still a child. And I feel like I'm still trying to figure things out.
Best hair or costume?
Zoe's outfit.
Oh.
That whole thing going on there. That whole like Victorian doubloons thing that they've got going on. Yeah, that.
It's very, very nice.
It is great. It is great. Outfits for me, I can't go past how 90s this movie looks and just costume alone. Like Frances's vests that she has, like girls in vests in the 90s, just so iconic. Like she has this kind of crisscross kind of blue one and then like a navy knit vest later on. So 90s.
The way it's knit, those all look like Jewish stars.
Yeah, that's true.
They do. But you're right. It's so neat. The mom's hair, there's at one point where she's got chopsticks holding up her bun, and that was such a thing in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's wearing the sort of cultural appropriation Asian silk shirt as well.
Yep, which was very big in the 90s.
It was big in the 90s, yeah.
It was big in the 90s, yeah.
But just layers in general. Like Joanne, she's got a yellow sweater on underneath
she's just like
dungarees.
a minion.
Like, yeah.
She looks like a minion.
And the butterfly clips as well. It's just, this is just the epitome of the 90s.
I had those. I had butterfly clips.
Yeah. Oh, everyone did.
Yeah, it was the... I think we've just breezed into most 90s moment the entire thing.
Yeah.
Most 90s moment.
The whole movie. The scene in the library, actually, where she keeps getting shushed. I feel like that was such a common trope in 90s pop culture. Like scenes in libraries where you're being too loud. Shh. It happens in so many 90s things.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Like, is the library the only place you're supposed to be quiet? Like, I feel like
a movie
it
theater.
is, right? I mean, the movie theater, I guess, obviously, but
I feel like there's a person whose job at the library is to shush you.
Yeah. I did find that sort of the audio-visual unit that the kids are watching felt very 90s as well. The AV media unit, I guess. Like the 90s was kind of the decade that they started embracing technology, especially for kids and education.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Amanda's already referenced it actually, but I thought nothing says 1999 like bragging about your family's GeoCities page. Yep. If you want to know about our family, visit our website. That's what I put down to Dad.
Yeah.
It was sort of the thing that you have those families who send you a Christmas card that has a posed picture of them and a great big detailed list of everyone's achievements over the year. It was those kind of families that had a website about their family.
Favorite scene?
Just because I think it's so absurd, the scene where the mom is in the office with the principal and the teacher and the guidance counselor, and she's like, I've been working on this theory that she's resentful for giving her brother bone marrow. And the mom's like, well, that's a very interesting theory, but it's wrong, but it's interesting. And there's something about the way that scene is framed. Like, it's almost like it was out of the sheriff's office in Twin Peaks that I just really enjoy.
Yeah.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, it's good because it does advance the themes of the movie. They're in the right area. They're just totally wrong.
Yeah. My favorite scene, it's going into Boogie World. I love that. Like it reminded me of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey for some reason when they go into hell, or like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, because they go into Boogie World and it's all the stuff that is under Francis's bed, ginormous. So you've got a rollerblade that is the size of a house, or like giant jigsaw puzzle pieces. They ride a car at one point, but it's one of those cars that you have to pull back so that it springs forward. It's just, the prop department must have had a field day making all of these great, huge props. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think the PB&J sandwich was Erin Chambers' favourite.
So gross. It's moldy.
Yeah, apparently she said it was really comfortable. You could spring about on it.
Oh,
She loved
right.
it.
I mean, it wasn't really a sandwich, so.
Most cliche moment.
I do believe in fairies. I do believe in fairies. It's the Peter Pan thing.
Clap if you believe in Larry.
Yeah. Which is fine. It's cute. It's for kids.
Yeah.
But that's definitely where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really emotional scene as well, because Darwin is in a sack, about to be thrown off a cliff.
He's in mortal danger.
Cliche for you, Conrad.
Many of mine have been mentioned already. I'd written down librarian keeps shushing people because that's all they do,
Yes.
I think. Creepy doll head swiveling in bedroom.
Yes.
And the villain is British.
Yes.
Best special effect.
The purple smoke coming out from under the bed.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
It looks so eerie and, ethereal. The lights and the smoke, and, it's great.
Yeah.
What I love about it is it doesn't just gently seep out, it just gushes. All of a sudden her room is full of smoke that's hugging the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conrad?
For me, it's Larry's growing claws, and specifically on his left hand, because I think they're a CG addition to the shot and they're being tracked onto his hand as they move, which in the 90s is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, they actually did a good job with those. I would have clocked those as being a prosthetic that they put on.
yeah, no, I think it's a CG addition that's being tracked onto his moving hand. So whoever it was in 1999 that by hand tracked, because there was no software for this, tracked CG growing fingernails onto Ty's hand. Well done, sir. I see you.
And guess what? That looks better than any AI garbage we ever do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, special effect for me, I love a good, weird mirror scene. So it's completely practical. So Larry's in the mirror, but not behind Francis. So when she turns around, he's not there. He's only in the mirror. And then she tells him to get out. And he literally climbs through the mirror. I love it. It's so surreal looking, and it's great.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Favorite sound effect.
Boogie goo bubbling sound.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yeah, me too.
I really like that sound. I mean, I love a good sound effect, and that was the one where like bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
When he's
Mine.
making the boogie goo, and it's so
Yeah.
loud. The gloopy, sloppy, bubbling
Yeah.
sounds.
It's gross, and I love it.
And there's I think he's describing all the things he's put in, and there's an elephant sound effect in there as well. It's like, this is brilliant.
And there's a cat sound effect
Oh, it's great.
Most funniest moment.
when it switches to Frankenstein as black and white.
Yes.
It's a lovely homage, isn't it?
Yes, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun with that scene. It feels almost Burton-esque.
Yeah, with the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
How about you, Conrad? Funniest moment?
I did love the throwaway gag of the swimming pool full of Jell-O, because why? And it seems like such a difficult visual to pull off on this budget, and yet they did it just for this 3-second gag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just these legs wiggling in deep red Jell-O.
Yeah. Really good.
Okay, that's our Moobly Awards.
Yes.
Hi, this is Catherine Mary Stewart, and you are listening to Movie Oubliette.
Okay, it's time for the final verdict. Should Don't Look Under the Bed be thrust out of its boogie world prison to scare the living hell out of kids once more, or should it be zapped with the temptrifuge and fall back down into the depths of the Oubliette never seen again? Amanda, you have presented us with a Disney TV movie from the 90s. Should people watch this movie?
Yeah, I think they should. I think it in some ways parallels things we get theatrically. There are moments in this that are more unsettling and more frightening than horror movies that have been made for adults or PG-13 horror movies. It's really deep when you really think about it. And it's such an interesting 90s time capsule. And I think it's really easy to see when you watch it why this actually freaked the shit out of children.
Yeah, I think you're right about definitely 90s time capsule. For me, I was just like so much nostalgia for a movie I've never seen before. Like it really does encapsulate the 90s in a movie. And I mean, I don't particularly love TV movies, but there is so much more production value and depth in the writing to this movie that I was not prepared for.
No, this is unlike the other Disney Channel original movies. This significantly more depth, significantly more production value and design. The way that they have cutaways to the gags, which are big. Yeah, that's a lot of time and money on those things that it feels more like something that could have been theatrical.
Yeah. I think if you get past this sort of TV look to the movie, I think it's a very, very well-made movie that I kind of would recommend. I think it's a great, especially if you've got kids, like
Terrify them.
terrify your kids. Watch this movie. Watch this movie this Halloween right now.
I wouldn't even say this is gateway horror. This is like you've already given them the gateway horror, and now this is like we've graduated to slightly above gateway horror.
Yeah.
So Conrad.
This was a weird one for me because there's no 90s nostalgia for me. So I had pretty much the experience that Dan has to put up with when I'm showing him all these weird 80s movies. And I can't see past my nostalgia glasses, and he's coming at it fresh going, what is this? So I had that kind of experience with it where I'm just thinking this is just aesthetically and in terms of the style of the thing, not something like I can regress and get into. But then the depth of the writing and the allegory that's going on and the imagery in it, once it starts kicking into gear, is so much more than I was expecting that I can easily see why this stayed with a whole generation of decom kids. So if this interests you, and if you want to see a really great example of one of these movies, then I definitely think you should check it out, especially as a bit of fun for spooky season. So that's a clean bill of health from us.
Yes.
But what do our patrons think? Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Patrons vote, please.
They set it free.
Oh, they set it free.
It's set free.
They did, yes. Jasmine said, made not long after the Disney Channel was finally no longer a premium channel, I was in college when I finally got to experience the Disney Channel. And I watched many of the movies they were cranking out every month when they debuted. Some lousy, some shockingly good. This one definitely fell into the latter category with special effects that rivaled big-budget movies at the time, hampered only by some silly situations the main character finds herself in and what she does in those situations, but certainly not hampered enough to be stuck in the oubliette. Let it out to haunt this Halloween.
Ooh.
But it wasn't a clean bill of health across the board necessarily. Chazilla said, it's just not for me. My after-school special days are way behind me. I could see where my 10-year-old self might have liked it, so okay, let it out.
Okay.
It's one of those things. Can you still access it and enjoy it as an adult if you don't have that nostalgia connection? And I guess for some people it works and for some it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's also if you're a horror fan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But we've decided it's a treat and not a trick, so
It's out.
it's out.
Just like Zoe.
Yeah. Run free, boogie person.
I'm going to Boogie Wonderland. Bye.
Goodbye. Well, Amanda, it's been amazing having you on the show again, and about something with no portraits in whatsoever.
No portraits. Nope.
Great.
I know. I tried to get us to do that Czech version of Beauty and the Beast, and then the only link that existed got taken down.
Yes.
I actually just found out today they're playing it in theaters in New York City for 2 nights this month. And I bought tickets immediately.
I don't
because
blame
if
you.
you can ever find a streaming link for the Czech 1978 Beauty and the Beast, Pana a Netvor, which I think actually means the virgin and the monster, it is so good.
Wow.
Such gothic creepiness. It is so erotic and so frightening. It's so good.
Wow. Makes me want to fly to New York.
Yeah. It's playing at the Metrograph, and I bought tickets. I'm so excited.
Excellent.
Because I've only seen it on like a dingy YouTube link that someone uploaded.
Yeah, with really shitty bit rate and everything that goes with it.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't know, 340, and I still sat through the whole thing.
Yeah. So where can our listeners follow you, and what are you up to next? What can we look forward to in your creative space?
Yeah, you can follow me at Amanda Jane Stern on Blue Sky and Instagram, and at Witchy Wanderer on Letterboxd. You can still watch Perfectly Good Moment, still streaming.
It is.
Do that. I have a horror script right now that is in competition at the Film Quest screenplay competition. The script is called Beast with Two Backs. It's about a woman who inherits a demon.
Oh, wow.
And then has sex with said demon, as one does. And then you can listen to my podcast, Don't Be Crazy. It's just a general movie podcast where we talk about what makes movies work or not work. It is Halloween, so we are also doing Halloween movies. We recently did Invasion of the Body Snatchers and What Lies Beneath. One of those is great. One of those is super mid. The great one is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I'm not even going to let you guess on that one. Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 78? Amazing. What Lies Beneath? Real mid. But yeah, and I guest on a bunch of other podcasts. So, my name will pop up places if you listen to a lot of podcasts.
And listeners, if you want to follow Movie Oubliette, we are everywhere on all platforms. And you can email us directly at movie.oubliette@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to send us a treat for Halloween, then head on over to Patreon, where you can support the show for as little as $1 and get access to extra content and voting rights on the final verdict, and maybe even nominating films for us to cover in future.
Yes, our most recent minisode is about Tron Legacy, continuing the Tron content.
Extravaganza.
Yes. We also have merchandise on Redbubble and a YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please give us a rating and review, especially since it's spooky season.
Yeah.
Okay, Conrad, what are we doing in next episode?
Well, next time we are switching decade and genre, but not actor. We've got Jeff Bridges back again. We'll be watching the 2014 action fantasy film Seventh Son.
Yes, I nominated this movie to be watched by us. I have no idea what it's about. I mean, I know it's a fantasy, that's it. I do know it bombed spectacularly at the box office.
Yes, pretty hard. Yeah, seems to be based on a novel, and it's got quite the cast. You've got Jeff Bridges in there from Tron. You've got Ben Barnes, Alicia Vikander, Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, Olivia Williams, Jimon Hounsou, Julianne Moore. I mean, wow.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. It may be a train wreck, so we will see.
It's a co-production between the US, Canada, China, and the United Kingdom. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? I don't see anything going wrong. Surely it's a hit.
I think it'll be great. And after that, patrons will be hoping to do a patron's choice. So get your nominations ready for when I send out a post about that.
Yes. Okay. Hope you're all having fun out there for Halloween. Until next time.
Don't eat all your candy at once. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Toodles.
We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie Oubliette.
If you want to know about the family, visit our website.